Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bo. Jai Shaparika Shri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Shama Shunda Giridhari Jiu Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribrajaka Charjavadya Stotarasata Shri Srimad Vishwavarenya Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribrajaka Charjavadya Stotarasata Shri Srimad Kula Churamani Sava Shastra Siddhantavit Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Rupa Nuga Guru Bhargya Ki Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswata Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Jai Sri Balaram Jayanti Ki Jai. Jai Baladev Purnima Ki Jai. Jai Vasudev Rohini Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Sri Balabhadra Ki Jai. The holy appearance day of Sri Balaram Ki Jai. Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Sri Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bo. Jai. So here we are broadcasting from the East London Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math on the very holy Advent day of Sri Balabhadra, Rohini Nandan, Sri Balaram. Here we find, Jai Gurudev. Here we find in Garga Sangita, quoted by Srila Govinda Maharaj, the or a pranam mantra of Balaram. Spurha Damala Kiritam Kinkini Kankaraham Kankarnaham Chalada Laka Kapolam Kundala Sri Mukhabjam Tuhina Giri Manogyam Nila Megham Baradayam Hala Musala Vishalam Kama Palam Samidde. I praise Balaram, who wears a radiant, immaculate jeweled crown that immediately captures everyone's attention, who is adorned with tinkling bells and jeweled ornaments, whose curling locks of hair charmingly sway with agreeable negligence about beautifying his cheeks, whose handsome lotus face is bedecked with earrings, whose all-attractive complexion resembles a moonlit snow-capped mountain peak, whose garments resemble alluring dark blue clouds, who appears illustrious, carrying his plough and club, and who fulfills all desires. So this is the one pranam mantra, very beautiful pranam mantra found in Garga Sangita and often quoted by Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. Now we are on this day trying to say something for our own purification in glorification of Sri Balabhadra, who is Krishna's other self. It is described in the scripture that apart from his complexion, which is whitish complexion, whereas Krishna's complexion is blackish, there is no difference between him and Lord Sri Krishna. He is Adi Sankarshan, the original Sankarshan, and first exact expansion of Sri Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. So he is inconceivably Krishna's older brother. And that is inconceivable to us, actually, because how God can have an older brother, it is unthinkable. In theology, of course, most of us are more accustomed with the theology of the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam. And there they conceive of one almighty Godhead, either called as Jehovah or Yahweh or Allah. And it is concluded by theologians of all classes that all three names, Jehovah, Yahweh, and Allah, are speaking of the same divine being. So when we look at Hinduism or Vedic religion, we see that especially as it is taught in schools, in comparative religious studies. They like to mainly focus on the inequities of the terrible caste system of the Hindus. This is what they like to talk about in Hindu theology in schools. And they like to talk about all the many, many gods of Hinduism, the pantheism of Hinduism, and the ultimate oneness of Brahman. So these are the main conceptions that people have about Hinduism. But if you are to look a little deeper into the actual theology presented by Bhagavan Krishna Dvaipayana Vedavyas, the compiler of the Vedic literature and the undisputed authority on Vedic religion, you will find that there he is dubbed Narayan as the supreme person, the Parameshwara, the supreme personality of Godhead, the one God without a second, whom we can say will be equivalent in Judea or Christian or Islam with Allah, with Yahweh, with Jehovah. That is Narayan of Vaikuntha, who is worshipped with great awe and reverence and in all grandeur and magnificence in the celestial realm of Vaikuntha. But that we can equate with those religions. So in that sense, all religion is one and God is one. But when we come into the realm of Krishna Lila, now we have to use a different measurement, because we are accustomed to thinking of God in the extremes, greatest of the great, bigger than the biggest, or all expansive, omniscient, omnipresent, smaller than the small, everywhere, pervading everything. So these are like extremes. God the Father, the provider of everything. And of course, no doubt, he is all those things. But Srila Gurudev would say, Krishna may be Allah, but Allah can never be Krishna. And so it is with Yahweh and Jehovah and so on. Because that conception is a very particular conception of Godhead. Very, as I said, filled with awe and reverence and grandeur and splendor and magnificence. But when we are looking at Krishna Lila, we will find there is another, you can say, we are looking into the interior life of God. It is not something that will be found in any other scripture in the world. Only in the scripture of India, and particularly Srimad Bhagavatam, the final and most complete work of Vedavyas. So there we find the Lord of all creation, the Parameshwara, the Supreme Narayan, is only a part of the original Swayam Bhagavan Lord Krishna. And there we find the medium conception of God, or the middle conception of God, not any extreme conception of God, but where is Krishna in the medium conception, or you can say the mean conception. Not mean as mean and nasty, but mean meaning the in the middle, like average, yeah, the middle position. So this is Krishna. Krishna, the human-like form of the Lord, and that is the most intimate form of the Lord. And there we find, in that interior revelation of Godhead, that Krishna actually has a family life. Krishna has a mother, Krishna has a father, and most extraordinary of all, Krishna has an older brother. So we can say, in a general sense, that man is made in the image of God. So in the image of God, human beings, with all their frailties, with all their peculiarities, they, you can say, mimic the original person, which is Lord Sri Krishna. So we all delight in relationships, family relationships and loving relationships, because that is found in the original source of everything, Sri Krishna. So just like in our lives, I'm the oldest son in my family, in our family. So it was down to me to be the protector of my younger brother in the schoolyard, make sure the bullies don't take advantage of him or, try and beat on him or anything. So in a similar way, Balaram has this relation with Krishna. He's his older brother. So that means he is Krishna's protector. Krishna's protector is Balaram. Just like, and as an older brother, I can say that I would have liked to have had that, like an older brother, like taking care of me, watching my back, and all of those things. So that's because Krishna also feels that and likes that relationship with Balaram. So Balaram is a little older than Krishna, maybe a few years older than Krishna, and but otherwise he is identical with Krishna. All power that is held within Krishna, that is also within Balaram. In fact, some things more in Balaram than in Krishna. So Balaram is considered physically stronger than Krishna, and Balaram also some slightly different mood than Krishna. So this is we find in the Leela of Krishna, the position of Balaram. So and they have, as brothers do, they have a loving relationship, but sometimes turbulent relationship. Sometimes Krishna is fighting with Balaram, and sometimes Balaram giving some chastisement to Krishna, or sometimes giving, in anger, sometimes giving a slap to Krishna, we hear sometimes. Because Balaram is something of you can say, a poor loser. He doesn't like to lose. And sometimes when he's in competition with Krishna, sometimes Krishna gets the upper hand. And particularly, Balaram doesn't like that others may deceive or cheat him. And Krishna is also renowned as a cheat. So sometimes if Krishna is cheating, then Balaram giving a slap to him. Then Krishna complaining to Mother Jashoda, crying, "Oh, Dauji slapped me." Balaram is called Dauji.
Cheating with Krishna.
Yeah.
With Krishna.
So
Not at heart. Yes.
Yes.
In the mind.
For showing.
Of course. But then Mother Jashoda becoming angry with Balaram. Oh, I left him in your care and now you're giving slap to him? What is this?
So many songs written by Sudas.
So this we find in the relationship between Krishna and Balaram. But always Balaram is 100% for Krishna, the servant of Krishna. So although he may possess greater strength and though he may possess other qualities, he is always considering himself as the servant of Krishna. 100% servant of Krishna. So he has 5 expansions. Mula Sankarshan, then Karana Dakshai Vishnu, Kira Dakshai Vishnu, and the Garbo Dakshai Vishnu, and Ananta Shesh. So, as Ananta Shesh, he assumes all of the paraphernalia of Krishna. Sometimes when somebody loves someone very much, they want to be everything to that person. I remember, it's maybe a little cheeky, I shouldn't say, but I'm sure His Royal Highness will forgive me, but our heir apparent to the throne, Prince Charles, when he was married to Diana, he was in love with Camilla Parker Bowles. As they are married together, as you know now. But during that time, some newspaper recorded some telephone conversations between them and then published them. It was very wrong that they did that, but they published that. But in one intimate conversation, Prince Charles said to Camilla Parker Bowles, as she was then, said, "When I die, I want to be reincarnated as your trousers." He told. So a little naughty, and intimate, but this was his expression. I have so much love for you that when I die, I want to be reborn as your trousers. So this idea. So we can say, and often those who love each other, they say things like that. I want to be the ground underneath your feet. I want to be the wind beneath your wings. We've heard all of these things. So similarly, Balaram has this feeling towards Lord Krishna. I want to be everything for him, for you. But while we may have that feeling towards someone, he is all of those things to Krishna. He actually can be those things. He is where Krishna stands, the Singhasan, that is Balaram. Krishna's shoes are Balaram. Krishna's temple is Balaram. Krishna's umbrella, Balaram. Krishna's clothes, Krishna's flute, Krishna's everything is Balaram. Balaram expands himself into all of these different forms to serve his Lord Krishna.
2 hands together.
Yes.
In the previous life, when he was Lakshman, he said, because I was the little one, I couldn't say anything. So next time I will be the bigger.
Yes, this we find in Ram Leela.
Yeah.
Lakshman is the younger brother.
Yes.
And younger brother, then that means some restriction in the service to the older brother. There's some restriction. So when Ramchandra says to Lakshman, "Okay, Lakshman, we're going to live in the forest," then Lakshman is furious when he hears what has happened, and he wants to take his sword and take the kingdom and fight to establish Ram. But Ram says, "No, brother, you cannot do that. We have to follow the order of our father." So some restriction there. So
Same thing when Bharat is coming to forest.
Yeah.
He said he is coming for revenge to kill us. So I will fight.
Yes.
No. Bharat is not like that.
So this is when Balaram in Ram Leela, he's the younger brother of the Lord, but in Krishna Leela, older brother. So one name of Krishna is Ramanuja. Ramanuja means the younger brother of Ram, but Balaram.
Ram plus Anuj.
Yes, yes, Ram's little brother. So this, but in this position, now Balaram can assert some authority in that service, and so this is preferable to him to take this role as the older brother, and he has this very direct idea, and sometimes even Krishna has to tone him down a little bit, Sometimes, when the Kauravas, they had made some insult, and Krishna wants to think. He's discussing with Uddhava how we shall deal with this, in a diplomatic way. How will we deal with the you can say with the throne in Hastinapur? What shall we do? They're discussing. And Balaram is there, pacing. And Balaram says, why all this discussion? Why all of this? I'll just go there with my club and finish everything, and that will be done. Not necessary any diplomacy or discussion. And Krishna had to say, no, brother, turn the volume or the voltage down a little bit, please. Voltage needs to go down a little bit.
Very interesting thought.
Yes. So in Krishna Leela, there's some like this. It is like this sometimes.
Devashis Prabhu, by the way, are you watching Mahabharata?
No.
It's every day is coming.
Okay.
On TV.
So Balaram, so many ways he is serving his Lord Krishna. And sometimes they are not agreeing on everything. Sometimes they are fighting. Sometimes, we were just talking a few weeks ago about the Shamantaka money. And even Balaram thought Krishna had stolen it. And at one point, when they find the
They are two in one.
they're pursuing the I forget his name now, but he finally had stolen the Shamantaka gem.
Oh, yes, Samantak Muni.
Yes, and Krishna and Balaram chasing him by chariot, and then when he had a horse, his horse died. And so now he's going by foot. So then Krishna and Balaram, they leave their chariot and pursue on foot. And finally, Krishna sees him run in and takes his Sudarshan chakra and cuts off his head. And then Krishna goes, but finds the Shamantaka gem is not with him because he already gave to Akrura. But Krishna doesn't know that, or at least in the Leela, he doesn't know that. So he comes back and he says, oh, brother, it was for nothing. Then he didn't have the gem. And then Balaram thinks, oh, you're lying to me, brother. You've stolen the gem now.
No,
And-
Satyabhama's father also thought.
Yes.
Because money belongs to Satyabhama's father.
That's right, yes.
He was
But
born
he
there,
murdered
then went to
he murdered
fight
Satyabhama's
to-
father.
With, and she gave her daughter.
Yeah.
I forgot his name at the moment.
You mean Satyabhama's father?
No,
You're talking about
Jamvan.
Jambavan
He
and
fought
gave
with
Jambavati.
Jamvan.
Yeah.
And Jamvan, after
Yes,
that,
yes.
he can give you money, but I have got something for you.
Yes,
You have to
yes.
Take my daughter too.
Yeah. Anyhow, then Balaram so angry with Krishna that he said, okay, I'm going to go and live with Jarasandha now. Jarasandha is like Krishna's arch enemy. So then Balaram went to stay with Jarasandha. Anyway, in different ways like this.
And then
So-
fight with Jarasandha.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur when he's describing Krishna Lila, then he mentions about all of the asuras that come to Vrindavan and are killed by Krishna, beginning with the cart demon, first one, and many, you know, there is so many that Krishna kills, and few Balaram kills. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that each of these demons that that Kamsa sends to kill Krishna, they represent an anartha within the devotee. I mean, some obstacle to devotional service that we find within the devotee. So there we find, for example, what's the witch called that comes to kill Krishna with her? Putan. So Putana
was the daughter of Bali.
Yes. So Putana, she comes and tries to kill Krishna by giving her breast milk,
Yes.
disguised as a beautiful maiden, but smears her breast with poison. It said enough poison to kill an elephant. What to speak of a baby? So anyway, Krishna, we know Krishna takes her milk, takes her life also, life heirs from her, but he elevates her to the position as Datri. Datri means the nurse, the nursemaid
Once upon a time, when she was a daughter of Bali, when he saw the mound of tar, she lied, if I had a son like that.
Yeah.
And when he has taken everything from Raja Bali, then she becomes that I will kill her. So that's why next line she becomes Putana.
Putana, yes. So Putana, she represents the false guru. So this is one anartha in the life of the devotee, is the false guru. That means comes in the guise of someone that will come to nourish your bhakti, but the real intention is to kill your bhakti before it's even grown up, while it's still in the infant stage. So that is Putana. So then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, so if you worship baby Krishna, who kills Putana, then you will become free of the anartha of the false guru. And so many different anarthas represented by the different demons. But few demons killed by Balaram, like Pralambasura, like Drivida, the gorilla, and what is that? Denakasura, the ass demon. So they are killed not by Krishna, but killed by Balaram. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in his Chaitanya Shikshamrita that those demons, those anarthas that they represent, they have to be overcome by the fortitude of the devotee himself, by their own inner strength, by the strength of their practice and their sadhana. So, for example, Drivida, he represents licentiousness and lustfulness, because he's like showing himself to the cowherd girls and parading around, you know, and like then Balaram comes and kills him. And the Denakasura, he is in the Talavan forest, and he's drunk on the tal fruit there. So he represents like intoxication, that mood of intoxication, and that kind of uncontrolled behavior, to be not to be sober and so on. And the Pralambasura, he represents deceitfulness, because he shows himself as a cowherd boy, as a friend of Krishna, but his whole idea is to kill Krishna. So who is the deceitful friend? the drunkard, intoxicated person. Srila Guru Maharaj explains that intoxication doesn't just mean, drinking beer or smoking ganja or these things, but the intoxication means the enjoying spirit, to enjoy with the material nature. That is to be inebriated with that. That is intoxicating mood. And licentiousness of Dravida, that gorilla, means like unrestricted sexual behavior. All of these things. The devotee themselves, they will have to overcome these anarthas by their own endeavor. Having said that, I would say that these are some of the most difficult anarthas for us to overcome. And if we pray to Lord Balaram on this day, maybe he will lend us some of his strength, that we maybe become strong enough to overcome these tendencies within ourselves. So this is Balaram, the unlimited service aspiration to Krishna, and at the same time unlimited service potential to fulfill that service to Krishna. He can do both. We may have much aspiration to serve Krishna, or maybe we don't have much aspiration to serve Krishna, but we should try. But even if we have, maximum aspiration to serve Krishna, we always fall short on our ability to be able to satisfy Krishna. But Balaram, he has both. He can satisfy Krishna to the utmost, and he has the greatest capacity for service and the greatest aspiration for service of Krishna also. Everything he does is for Krishna. We find that after Krishna and Balaram, when they left Vrindavan, after some time, Balaram returns to visit. And then it's told that on one full moon night, he performs Rasa Lila with gopis. But our acharyas, in their commentary, they have said that if you can conceive of this, that he is not enjoying separately, that when he is doing the Rasa Lila, he is doing that as an offering to Krishna.
Krishna ends up for make the satisfaction for gopis.
Yes, but mainly for Krishna's, you can say canvassing for Krishna, on behalf of Krishna. He is doing that, not with any separate enjoying spirit. Balaram has no separate enjoying spirit. He is completely one with the service of Krishna, and he is able to serve Krishna with infinite capacity, and Krishna infinitely satisfied by him. But we see his nature very powerful, very powerful. When we see, right, that he likes, sometimes he becomes drunk. Balaram, he drinks that Varuni. Varuni is like a nectar drink, and when he drinks that, it's told his eyes become red and he becomes like drunken. Then he told, in that state, he's summoning the Jamuna, the goddess Jamuna. He wants to enjoy in her company, and he's calling her, but she is afraid to come. She is thinking, oh, he's very drunk. I do not want to come before him when he's in this state.
Then he became angry.
So then Balaram became very angry, and taking his plow, he began to pull the Jamuna to him until she came. But we hear that in that mood, that Balaram, he's becoming, he's a little intoxicated by that, and calling Jamuna and with his plow, and he's telling, Oh, I am so powerful. I am so powerful that I am thinking maybe I'll destroy all of the universes. The whole creation, I'll just destroy it now, and Krishna will not be unhappy with me. He's thinking like that. And no doubt, of course, if Balaram were to do that, that would be very auspicious for everyone. But Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu, he's praying that we are praying to Lord Balaram that he will not carry out this very auspicious activity. We are praying to him in this way. So, he can do that. He can do everything. He is so powerful. He is so strong. And for this reason, when we just mentioned that when Krishna, during that Leela of the Shamantakamani, and Balaram thinking that, Krishna is stolen. Your mala's falling out there. Vasanteshri, your mala falling out. Anyway, then Balaram he goes to stay with Ramaharshana, and the king of Kashi, he stays with him. During that time, Duryodhan came to visit Balaram, and he knows Balaram's the best at one name of One name of Balaram is Gadadhar, who means who fights with the club, the Gada. So Gadadhar. Then he's very famous as a club fighter. He's the best. So and he already taught Bhimsen. Bhimsen is also famous for fighting with the club. So then Duryodhan, he came to visit Balaram and asked Balaram, you also please teach me how to fight with the club. And Duryodhan became Balaram's student. So Balaram, one name of Balaram is Duryodhan Guru. That is one name of Balaram, Duryodhan Guru, because he taught him how to fight. So when the war comes, Pandavas versus the Kauravas, and Krishna becomes the charioteer of Arjun. Arjun and Duryodhan, they have a choice. You can, Krishna says, you can have me, but I will not fight. Or you can have my army. Krishna is now a king in Dwaraka, so he has his army, and they're a very powerful army. Or you can have my army, or you can have me. But if you have me, I'm not going to fight. Then Duryodhan, Arjun immediately says, I'll have you, Krishna, I'll have you. And Duryodhan thinks, I'll have the army. He's not even going to fight. I'll have the army. So Krishna's army, unbelievably, they fought on the side of Duryodhan during the war. But Krishna became the Partha Sarathi. He's called Partha Sarathi, means the chariot driver of Arjun, Partha. Arjun's name is Partha. So then Balaram, he has some affection for Duryodhan. Then he knows that Krishna has come out on the side of the Pandavas, and it is not unexpected. But now Krishna will actually take active part in the war as the chariot driver of Arjun. Then Balaram thinks because of that, it is not possible that I will fight in the war. I cannot take the side of the Pandavas, and I cannot take the side of the Kauravas, because he has equal affection for Duryodhan and Bhimsen. They're both his students. So Balaram goes on Tirtha Jatra during that time. He's visiting all the holy places. In the meantime, the war is going on. Then we understand, during that time, he meets the sages that are performing that sacrifice at in the Naimisharanya forest, and chosen acharya for that procedure is Romaharshana, and Romaharshana, who's sitting on the asan, when he sees Balaram, all of the other sages, they get up to give respect to Balaram, knowing who he is. But Romaharshana thinks, well, I'm the acharya, I don't need to get up and show respect. So he doesn't, he stays seated. And Balaram becomes so enraged by that, he picks up one blade of grass, and he approaches Romaharshana, and immediately he cuts off his head with a blade of grass. And all of the other sages that are assembled there, they say, oh, Jai, Balaram, Jai, you have done a wonderful thing. What you have done, it must be good for everyone if you have done it, because you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But you please hear from us that, for a long time we've prepared to do this sacrifice, and we all elected him to be the acharya for this, and now what will we do? You just severed his head. What will we do? Who will perform this? Who will oversee this sacrifice? And Balaram said, oh, he has a son, and his name is Sutta, Romaharshana Sutta. That is, he will perform this sacrifice. He will now be the acharya. They all accepted Balaram, and that is Sutta Goswami, the speaker of Sriman Bhagavatam. So Balaram had some part to play in that, in an extraordinary way. Anyhow, then finally, after going everywhere, he returns to Hastinapur. Actually, not Hastinapur, to Kurukshetra, where the war is in its final stages.
Only Duryodhana left and
Yes.
Bhim.
So it's just come down to mana on mano, man on man, one man versus another man. So on the side of the Kauravas, here is Duryodhana, and on the side of the Pandavas, here is Bhimsen, and they have come to fight with each other with clubs. So then Balaram just arrives as the fight is about to begin, and Krishna is watching. There's some arena and some seating, everything. It has come down to this. This will decide the war now. After so long, this battle going on, and so many defeats, and so many, we know, so much drama. Finally, it has come to this. And, of course, Balaram comes just to witness this. And so he sits next to Krishna, and they're observing. But they find, because they're both students of Balaram, that each one knows what the other one will do. So because they've been taught by the same master. It's spurious for me to give the comparison, odious even. But when I was in the Ukraine, we would give at the Veda Life Festival, I was going to give a lecture. Maybe 300 people are there and in the lecture, and just before me, Madhusudan Maharaj is going to give the lecture. So I'm sitting to watch, to hear Madhusudan Maharaj's lecture also. And then in his lecture, everything that he said was what I had planned to say, and almost exactly. And then so afterwards, then I have to go and I have to give a lecture. So I had to begin my lecture by saying what Madhusudan Maharaj has said. That was what I was planning to say, and it is not so unusual or remarkable, because we are taught by the same master. We have the same master. Then what I learned, he learned. What he learned, I learned. So it is like that. So in a similar way, I'm not making myself any comparison, but here we have Bhimsen and Duryodhana fighting, but they have learned the same things. So when Duryodhana goes to strike, immediately Bhimsen knows how to counter it. And when Bhimsen goes to strike, immediately Duryodhana knows how to counter that. So this is going on day after day after day with no let to it. One cannot get the advantage over the other. But Krishna, he knows a secret. He knows a secret about Duryodhana. You see, Duryodhana's mother is Gandhari. And Gandhari, she, when she heard that she was to be betrothed to Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtra was born blind. So Gandhari, as soon as she heard that her husband, she would marry Dhritarashtra, she immediately blindfolded herself. So in the modern world, people will think that's crazy. You know, husband is blind and now wife will be blind as well. But in that time, she is thinking, I cannot be any way superior to my husband. He is blind, I will also be blind. So modern people will think that's just crazy, you know. At least she can see, that would be better. I was just discussing this the other day, right? Now, men and women, they have full equality. So what used to be, right? It used to be that the man sits in the armchair and he's just a slob, right? Doesn't do anything. Doesn't do the washing up, doesn't do any cooking, doesn't do any cleaning. Wife does everything, right? And they have a nice house, they have nice dinner, everything is nice. Wife has done that by her sacrifice. And husband just sitting in the TV, smoking his cigarette, watching does nothing, completely bone idle. So now, this was how it was in the time of our parents and before. But now, man is equal, woman is equal. So man is a slob in the armchair, and she's like, then I'm going to be a slob in the armchair too. So instead, two slobs now. Two slobs in the house. No, I'm not going to cook. If you're not going to cook, I'm not taking the vacuum cleaner. If you're not going to... This is the result of that, right? This is the result of that. So you would think in the same way, if Dhritarashtra is blind and Gandhari is blind, what is the use of such a thing? But by her practice, this is a practice of chastity, that she will not be any way superior to her husband. The result is that she developed extreme powerful Shakti. You cannot believe how powerful is Gandhari by just this one thing, by wearing this blindfold. So much so that she burnt the feet of Lord Krishna. When Krishna is after the war and she's coming and seeing so many dead, and she's a little angry with Krishna, and from under her blindfold she saw Krishna's lotus feet, and that glance burnt Krishna's feet. How is it possible? How is it? Because she is Krishna's devotee, so Krishna accepted her chastisement because she loves Krishna. There is one Brahman also, maybe Uttanka. He came there and he's also thinking, oh, Krishna is to blame for this. He could have made things go in another way, but he didn't. He allowed so many deaths, so many widows, and so many mothers lost their sons, and Krishna is to blame. Then he told Krishna, I'm going to give curse to you, Krishna. I have some Brahma Tejas, from my practice. Then I'm going to break my sacred thread and give curse to you. And Krishna said, Brahmin, don't waste your time. Because from so much practice, you have developed this Brahma Tejas. You have developed this power in you. But I am always in the Nirgun plane. If you throw that at me, it won't touch me. Because I am not affected by anything from this world. You will lose everything and it will not do anything to me. So then the Brahmin decided, okay, I won't do that. But Gandhari, she can do that. Because she has such power that even Lord Krishna accepts her chastisement. And that's actually because of bhakti, because of her bhakti to to Krishna, not because of anything else. But anyhow, she's so powerful, right, that she has so much power that she told Duryodhan, my boy, tomorrow you come and see me first thing in the morning. Come to my quarters, but you must come naked.
No, as you was born.
Yes.
Come as you was born.
So come tomorrow in the morning, first thing in the morning, to my quarters, and I will give my glance to you, and your body will become
Like a stone.
impenetrable by any weapon, anything. You will not be, like in Greek mythology, there's what's that? Achilles. Yeah. So Achilles, his mother dipped him in the river of immortality, and so his body became like that. But where she held his heels to dip him, that wasn't touched by the water, so that became his vulnerable point. So people say his Achilles heel. Now that's how they were able to kill him finally in that story. So similarly, Duryodhan, he's coming in the morning, but just by sheer coincidence, Krishna was there in the palace, and so Duryodhan's coming naked as a jaybird, walking down the corridor. Krishna saying, "Oh, Duryodhan, where are you going this fine morning?" Duryodhan said, "Oh, I'm going to see my mother." "What? You're going to see your mother? What? Naked? You're going to see your mother?" He said, yes, she told me, come. I like you were born, as you were born. Come and in the morning. She has some gift for me. And Krishna says, "Oh, my friend, show some respect. At least, like cover yourself with a towel or, a gamsha. At least that, cover yourself." So he said, "Yes, you're right. Of course you're right. I'm going to see my mother. What was I thinking?" So he puts the gamsha on, covers himself up, and he goes to Gandhar, knock on the door. "Yes, it is me, mother. Yes, you have come? Yes, you have come as I asked you? Yes." Then she said, "Okay, stand before me." And she removed her blindfold and cast her glance on Duryodhan's body. And wherever she looked on his body, it became like steel, that no weapon can harm him in any way. But then she sees, from his waist down, he's wearing a gamsha. She said, "Why are you wearing the gamsha? This is like a one-time thing, Why are you wearing the gamsha?" He said, "Well, I met Krishna in the corridor and, he persuaded me." And then she began laughing. Oh, Krishna's tricks. So then Krishna, and only Krishna, knew that this is his Achilles heel. Around, like maybe to his knees, from his waist to his knees, this is his vulnerable point, his Achilles heel, we can say. So, or maybe we should say, instead of Achilles heel, we should say Duryodhan's, thigh, or whatever it was. And of course, remember that when during the Vastraharana of Draupadi, when they disrobed Draupadi in front of all the warriors, Duryodhan, he lifted up his dhoti and showed his thigh to Draupadi, and he said, "What do you think of that? This is your new master's thigh." He's like taunting her like that. And Bhimsen, uncontrollably angry, he stood up and he said, "I will smash that thigh. I'll smash that thigh." And Draupadi said, "Jai." She appreciated, because no one else would say anything. Not Yudhisthira, not Arjuna, no one. Only Bhimsen. And Bhimsen, not only that, Bhimsen said, "And I will tear out your heart and drink your blood." That's to Dushasan, yeah. Then he told, then Draupadi told, "I will not again tie my hair until Bhimsen ties it with his hands still wet with your blood." It's all very dramatic, very, very full of drama. Anyhow, so then so Krishna knows this secret, right? No one else knows. Only Krishna and Gandhari, apart from Duryodhana. So they're fighting Duryodhana and Bhimsen, no advantage. So then Bhimsen looks at Krishna and he's like appealing to Krishna, like, what do I do? You know, I don't know what to do. Then Krishna goes, slaps his thigh, and immediately Bhimsen understands, oh, I have to strike his thigh. It is against the rule of Kshatriya Dharma to strike below the waist. But Krishna is giving him his blessing, his approval, his instruction even. And so then Bhimsen swings his club and smashes Duryodhana's thigh. And Duryodhana dies. And Balaram, seeing this, becomes so angry that he wants to kill Bhimsen. But Krishna's like, brother, peace, be peace. Shanti, brother, shanti, shanti. It's okay. So this way, Krishna makes Balaram angry, because he knows, he's angry with Krishna more than he is with Bhimsen, because he knows that Krishna is behind this. But he cannot remain angry with Krishna because of his love for Krishna. Similarly, he wants Arjun to marry their sister, Subhadra. But Balaram is very protective of her. Very protective. He's the older brother of them both. But Krishna makes them he wants Arjun to be his sister's husband, but Balaram does not want that. So he devises a plan with Arjun. And he says, Arjun, you know, right, that Balaram is opposed to your marriage with Subhadra, but he has so much respect for the sadhus that if you come disguised as a sadhu, then we can arrange something that you can meet with Subhadra. So, of course, Arjun is well known to Balaram. So what does he do? Maybe he grows a big beard and makes his hair in a top knot, and he puts on some red cloth with Rudraksha and, with a staff and so on. And he comes, as a sannyasi, he comes to the palace in Dwarka. And Krishna's very enthusiastic. Oh, Prabhu, come in. And he goes to Balaram, oh, look, this great sadhu has come. This would be very auspicious for Subhadra to make some great spiritual advancement. If she gives some service to him, she can cook for him, she can clean his room like this, if we give some hospitality. Do you think it's a good idea? I think it's a very good idea. What do you think, Balaram? And he persuades Balaram. Not only persuades him, he makes Balaram think that it's his idea. So Balaram's like, yes, this will be very good for her. We shall arrange this. And so, this was what happens, right? Subhadra, she's cooking many nice preparations and serving them to him in his room and cleaning his room. And this way she gets to spend much time alone with Arjun. And then when the moment is right, Arjun kidnaps her. So this is called Rakshasa marriage. This is what Krishna did with Rukmini. Rukmini, believe it or not, Rukmini was meant to marry Shishupal. And
her brother wants.
Yeah, that's right. Her brother wants her to marry Shishupal. So Rukmini, she's seen a picture of Krishna. And once she saw that picture, that was it. Her heart was fully captured. She doesn't want to marry anyone else, only Krishna. But she thinks, my brother, his friend is Shishupal, and he's arranging for me to marry him. So she writes a letter to Krishna. And in that letter she says, please come before the jackal takes the lion's prey. and save me from this Shishupal. Come and take me. And Krishna comes on his chariot and he kidnaps Rukmini and marries her by force. In the time of Vedic time, warriors would often do that, and it is called Rakshasa marriage, and it is considered one of the legitimate forms of marriage during that time. So then Krishna tells Arjun, you do it. Like when the time is right, when Balaram's not around, you kidnap her and take her and claim her as your wife. And Arjun does that. And when Balaram finds out that he's been tricked, he is so angry that he decides to pursue Arjun, capture him and cut off his head. This is his idea, you know. But again, Krishna is like, Shanti, brother, Shanti. You know, like, be peaceful. They are a good match. Krishna's telling, they are a good match. And if you kill him now that he's already taken her, then what will happen to her? No one will take her as their wife after she's been kidnapped by Arjun. Nobody will accept her as wife. They won't consider her chaste anymore. No one will accept her. So if you kill him, you'll ruin her. So this way Krishna persuades Arjun again, and he's telling Balaram, remember, this was your idea.
Balaram promised Duryodhana.
Right? Yeah. We do not know. It was Arjun. He's telling, we were both deceived, brother, but it was your idea that she should associate with him like this. This way he persuades Balaram. So this way, Krishna and Balaram, their relationship is like this. But most beautiful of all is their relationship together in Vrindavan, when they are going to the pasturing grounds with the cowherd boys, and Balaram is there with Krishna, and they're playing their flutes and their horns and going every day for that. It is kind of amazing, that, when Mother Jashoda sends Krishna to the pasturing ground, she calls him back again. Like, she can't bear to be apart from Krishna. She's so much attached to Krishna that she tells Balaram, okay, take him and go and look after the cows for the day and come back in the evening. And as soon as Krishna's gone, she tells Purnamasi or others, Jatila and others, please bring him back, bring Krishna back, I can't bear it. And she brings Krishna back, and she's kissing Krishna's face and bathing him with her tears. And then when she's composed herself again, she says, all right, go, Balaram, take him. And then again the same thing happens, and like time after time after time this happens. And it reminds me, actually, this was how it was with Srila Govindamarj and Srila Guru Maharaj. That Govindamarj would have to go for some service or somewhere. He's going to Calcutta, or he's going somewhere, for some service. Guru Maharaj's telling in the morning, okay, go. And he's going to the train station. But before he can reach the train station, Guru Maharaj is sending Hari Charan Prabhu, go on the bicycle and stop him, bring him back, I need him to come back. And then he's going, taking a shortcut, going up the side of the bridges, and before Govinda Maharaj can reach the train station, Guru Maharaj calling you back, and he'll come back. So that kind of affectionate relationship. Sometimes Guru Maharaj can't bear to be apart from Srila Gaur. It is a fact. But this is happening with Mother Jashoda and Krishna. And finally, she has to say, like she's holding the hands of Balaram and telling, you promise me you're going to look after my boy, protect him, like this way. Yes, Mother, of course I will. Of course I will. So Krishna and Balaram. And Balaram, of course, he is the son of Rohini. Rohini and Vasudev. But when First, he was appeared in the womb of Devaki, in the prison house of Kamsa in the palace. He appeared in the womb of Devaki, and then to all intents and purposes it appears that she miscarried. But it is not miscarriage. It is by the arrangement of Jogamaya that Balaram is taken from the womb of Devaki and placed in the womb of Rohini. Rohini is also Vasudev's wife, but she is living in Gokula under the protection of Nanda Maharaj and living with them there. And then miraculously she becomes pregnant, and Balaram is born in Vrindavan. So Krishna and Balaram, actually they never leave Vrindavan. Only sometimes they are manifest and sometimes they are unmanifest. So it is told like that. So when Krishna is born in Mathura, that is Vasudeva Krishna. And when Vasudeva brings Krishna to Gokula, Mother Jashoda, she is also given birth to a baby boy, Krishna. And that Vasudeva Krishna merges with Jashoda's boy Krishna. They become one. This way, Krishna is, we can say, this is proven by Sanatana Goswami, that Krishna is not as it is generally said, he is not the foster son of Jashoda Mai. He is Jashoda Mai's actual son. Inconceivably, Devaki's son and Jashoda's son. But Jashoda, she does not know who she has given birth to,
Some people say
boy and girl.
because she wanted to pass the time of the God's childhood. And Devaki and Vasudeva wants the son. So this way he protected both things.
Both things are, everything is possible with Krishna. So similarly, Balaram is transferred from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini, and he is born in Vrindavan, just over 1 year before Krishna, and he is born on the Purnima, the full moon, and Krishna born on the Astami, the 8th day of the moon. But it is told that when Krishna appeared, the moon again became full on that day, just to give glorification to Krishna. Anyway, this way we understand that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. He is manifest for his pastimes in Vrindavan. Then Akrura comes. Akrura comes to take Krishna and Balaram to Mathura on the order of Kamsa. And Akrura, he is considered by the gopis like Judas. He is hated by the gopis. They hate him. But he has to do it. It is his duty. He has to take them. But while they are going, before they leave Vrindavan, they want to take bath. And that place is called Akrura Kund. And there, Krishna and Balaram, they take their bath. They go into the water, and that means Swayam Bhagavan Krishna and the original Sankarsha and Balaram, then they become unmanifest. And coming out of the water, there is Vasudeva Krishna and Sankarsha, and they are going to Mathura. So there is expansion of Krishna, not Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. He is always in Vrindavan. And same with Baladev. Mula Sankarshan Baladev never leaves Vrindavan, only becomes unmanifest. And then their expansions, they go to Mathura and perform all of the Leela there. It is a subtle thing, but we are to understand that Krishna is always in Vrindavan, only that sometimes he is manifest and sometimes he is unmanifest. So this is something.
Everywhere.
the glory of Balaram, the glory of Balaram. And we remember that. I remember one of the first things we were taught when I was in ISKCON is that Balaram, he is everything to Krishna. He is the temple. He is the altar. He is the mridanga. He is the karatals. He is the book. He is like everything that is the manifestation of Balaram. And we believe that so strongly that we would never lean on the wall when we were sitting in the temple room. We're thinking, we can't lean on Balaram, that will be offense. So this is, I mean, seriously, this is how much that was impressed upon us. So it is not, we do not need to be so extreme, but we need to be conscious about that. How will we say we are practicing Krishna consciousness if we are not conscious of these things? So I remember when Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Radha Shyam Sundar, the day of their installation, in fact a few days before, I made a bath for them because they're going to be installed. There's going to be the Abhishek. So I made this bath, wooden bath, and I tiled it all inside. I put a little sink plug, everything inside it, grouted it, all really very nice. And on that day, one of the sannyasis that was doing the installation there, in his lecture he was telling how everything is the expansion of Balaram in the service of Krishna, the ghee lamp, we should be conscious of that. And the next day, after the installation, I'm looking, where's that bath? And I went out into the back garden and it had just been chucked in the garbage. Just like thrown in the garbage, all the tiles were smashed. And I was thinking, we are not conscious about these things. So we should be conscious about these things. Actually, it is a lesson that we still need to learn. I mean, it is my observation, and I don't mean any offense to anybody, but anything that's in the temple, guaranteed that within a few weeks or a few months it must be wrecked if it's in the temple. You buy anything for the kitchen, nice blender, nice pots, in a few weeks they're smashed, they're dented, they're broken, everything. Because the people that use them, instead of thinking, this is the Balaram, or this is the property of my Gurudev, I should look after it even better than I look after my own belongings. No, they're just thinking, I didn't pay for it. I just throw it here, throw it there, and smash it, break it. We still need to learn this lesson. We need to be conscious that the temple is Balaram, that the temple is the property of our Gurudev. Balaram is the Adi Guru. Balaram is the Adi Guru. Guru means who connects us with Krishna. And of course, in Mahaprabhu's Leela, that means Nityananda Prabhu. So we cannot speak about Balaram without speaking about Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is Balaram. You can say Balaram with the added quality of magnanimity. The magnanimity, Balaram in distribution mode. That is Nityananda Prabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu wants all of us to worship Lord Krishna in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is Narottam Das Thakur's written, Hey no Nitai Bine Bai Radha Krishna Paite Nai. If you don't worship the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu, there's no possibility that you can ever come to the worship of Radha and Krishna. Without Nityananda Prabhu's blessing, all of that is just a fantasy, just an imagination. It is not real. Only through the grace of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Balaram. So we are telling Nityananda Balaram. Mahaprabhu told to Nityananda Prabhu, he said, go and preach in Bengal. He said, Bengalis are a very hard nut to crack. He said, so you must go, only you can preach in Bengal. And Nityananda Prabhu went there. And he said, he told Nityananda Prabhu, go door to door with the straw between your teeth and tell them to worship, lead a holy life and worship Lord Krishna and chant the holy name of Krishna. Nityananda Prabhu said, yes, I will do that. But what did he do? When he came to Bengal, he went with the straw between his teeth, rolling on the door of the householders. But he's not telling chant the Hari name of Krishna. He's telling Bhaja Gauranga, Kaha Gauranga, Laha Gauranga now. Worship Gauranga. Chant the name of Gauranga. Think of Gauranga. And I will become your servant. I will become your sold out servant. This is his preaching in Bengal. So this is the truth. By the mercy of Mahaprabhu, we come to the worship of Radha and Govinda. In fact, Vrindavan Das Thakur says, think about this, how serious this is. Vrindavan Das Thakur, who is Vyasadeva in the Leela of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, he says, who worship Radha and Krishna, but do not accept the lotus feet of Nityananda and Gauranga Mahaprabhu, they create only evil in the world. Think about that. That's really heavy. He's saying if you worship Radha and Krishna, but you don't accept the lotus feet of Gauranga and Nityananda, you're just doing evil. Worshipping Radha and Krishna is evil without the accepting the lotus feet and the shelter of Gauranga and Nityananda Prabhu. It is a serious thing. It's not just hyperbole, it's the reality. We have to understand that. It may not rest well with us, but we must understand that. But at the same time, also, Vrindavan Das Thakur, he says, you can chant the name of Krishna lifetime after lifetime and still may not get Krishna Prema. But if just once you call out the names of Nitai and Gauranga, that Krishna Prema will come looking for you. You will get that by chanting the names of Nitai and Gauranga. That Krishna Prema will look for you, will search after you. Now this is the reality. This is how powerful the names of Nitai and Gauranga. Then Sachi Devi, Lord Chaitanya's mother, she had a dream. In that dream, she saw Nityananda fighting with Balaram. She's Nityananda coming before Krishna and Balaram on the altar. And Nityananda Prabhu is telling to Balaram, come down now, come down. You had your time in Dwapara Yuga. Now is my Lord Gauranga's time. Come down from there. And Balaram telling, no, I am not coming. We are not coming down. We have been here so long. We are not coming down. Then Nityananda Prabhu says, then by force I will bring you down. And pulling Baladev and Krishna from the altar, and instead Nityananda and Gauranga Mahaprabhu there. This is Sachi Mata's dream. She saw that in her vision, her heart of heart. So this we can understand, that Krishna Golokera Premadama Harinama Sankirtana, that the treasure of Goloka came down in the form of Nama Sankirtan of Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How does that verse go of Narottam Thakur? Jashodanandana Jay Sachi Sutta Hoilo say that Jashodanandan Krishna, he came as the mother of Sachi, as the son of Sachi Devi. And Balaram Hoilo Nitai. Balaram came as Nityananda. Balaram came as Nityananda. And when Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they meet for the first time, ostensibly, Mahaprabhu tells the devotees, as Nimai Pandit, he tells the devotees in Navadvip, last night I had a dream that this great Mahapurusha came to Navadvip on a chariot bearing the palm tree. The palm tree is the symbol of Balaram, on Balaram's chariot. great Mahapurusha came to Navadvip last night. Go and find him and bring him here. Then all of the devotees, they go. But after searching day and night, they come back and they tell Mahaprabhu, we could not find him. Then Mahaprabhu smiles. All right, come with me. And he takes the devotees immediately to the house of Nandanacharya, Nandan Bhavan. And there they see Nityananda Prabhu sitting on the veranda, dressed in blue. And as soon as they see each other, Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, they become overwhelmed in ecstasy, embracing each other and fainting and losing consciousness. And Nityananda Prabhu said, I went to Vrindavan and I looked all the places where we had our pastimes, but I cannot find Krishna. I cannot find you anywhere. And I asked the residents of Vrindavan, where is Krishna? Why is he not at Keshi Ghat? He's not here. I've looked everywhere. Where is he? And the residents of Vrindavan told me, he took his birth in Navadvip. Now he is in Navadvip. So immediately I have come here, and now I find you here. So this, ostensibly their first meeting, it is described as a thing of great ecstasy, miraculous, wonderful, extraordinary, and all the devotees were astonished to see such a thing. And finally, then Mahaprabhu says, now Balaram has come. Now I can begin my mission here in earnest. And from that day he began the Sankirtan in the streets with the devotees. Hari Harai Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. Going in the streets and chanting Sankirtan. This painting here, Gurudev said, this painting is perfect. So this is how it was. How did that artist understand that? And Gurudev asked that this painting be in all his centers everywhere. It was wonderful. And underneath, we've given the verse by Prabodhananda Saraswati, describes that painting. Or this was told to us by Srila Govinda Maharaj. He quoted this verse of Prabodhananda Saraswati. So I've printed that verse and its translation. If you read it, you will understand what's going on in this painting. Gurudev loved that very much. So this is the identity of Balaram. He is Nityananda Prabhu. It is not that Nityananda Prabhu is just an avatar. Nityananda Prabhu directly Balaram. Krishnadas Kaviraj says Nityananda Balaram. And just as Lord Krishna is the son of Nanda Maharaj, covered by the heart and halo of Srimati Radharani, and has become that Shyamasundar, become Gaurasundar. In the same way that Nityananda Prabhu, he is Balaram, and he has come to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Leela. And we see in his last days, our Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, he took exclusive shelter of Nityananda Prabhu. He told, Srila Govinda Maharaj said, everyone knows Guru Maharaj Rupa Goswami's man. And why is he taking shelter of Nityananda Prabhu? Why always telling Dayal Nitai, Dayal Nitai, Dayal Nitai? In fact, in his last days, Guru Maharaj so much absorbed in Nityananda Prabhu, he's forgetting to get dressed. He's just going like naked in his last days in his room, and calling Dayal Nitai, Dayal Nitai, his servitors who are looking after him, and he's calling like a child calling for his mother, and seeing that those servitors who are looking after him, they're very disturbed, and they're telling Maharaj, take your mala, you will get some relief. We know, right? Since we knew Guru Maharaj, if he's not talking to us, he's doing mala. He's on his mala like 24 hours a day, practically speaking. But what was his response when they tried to give him his mala? He told, "Give the mala to Govinda Maharaj. My only recourse now is the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. I have no other hope but Nityananda Prabhu." This is how much Guru Maharaj's faith in Nityananda Prabhu. He is considering Nityananda Prabhu. The very foundation of the Chaitanya Saraswat Math is the grace and mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. This was the thing. So we can understand this. We can say so many things about this, but we can understand this, that Guru Maharaj, he's fully surrendered to the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. And therefore, we can understand what kind of importance is Nityananda Balaram. That kind of more than Krishna. Nityananda Prabhu, and Guru Maharaj said, it is my conception that Nityananda Prabhu must be very closely related with Jogamaya. Jogamaya arranging everything in Krishna Lila. And Balaram also arranging everything in Krishna Lila. Then he's thinking, Guru Maharaj said, it is my own conception that they are very closely connected. Then we find, maybe Jiva Goswami or someone, they've given that Nityananda Prabhu is married to Ananga Manjari. And Ananga Manjari is the manifestation of Jogamaya in Vrindavan. There are others. Purnamasi also, she is told to be Jogamaya sometimes. But in this case, she is Ananga Manjari, is the consort of Balaram in Vrindavan. So this way they are very closely connected in the Leela of Krishna, arranging everything for Krishna Leela. This is Balaram's function. And so Balaram is called the Adi Guru. And all Guru, the function of Guru is the function of Balaram. And that means to join us with the service of Krishna. That is the function of Guru. And the original Guru, that is Balaram. And Balaram is Nityananda Prabhu. So, begging for their mercy, bowing down at the lotus feet of that great Haladar. We just remember one more time what Srila Govinda Maharaj taught us from Garga Sangita, the pranam mantra of Balaram. Spuradamala kiritam kinkini kankaraham chadalaka kapulam kundala shri mukabjam tuhina giri manogyam nila megam baradayam hala musala vishalam kama palam samide. This beautiful pranam mantra of Balaram found in Garga Sangita, and so many times quoted by Srila Govinda Maharaj, especially on this day. And the translation is, I praise Balaram, who wears a radiant, immaculate jeweled crown that immediately captures everyone's attention, who is adorned with tinkling bells and jeweled ornaments, whose curling locks of hair charmingly sway with agreeable negligence about beautifying his cheeks, whose handsome lotus face is bedecked with earrings, whose all-attractive complexion resembles a moonlit snow-capped mountain peak, whose garments resemble alluring dark blue clouds, who appears illustrious, carrying his plough and club, and who fulfills all desires. So this is Balaram. Jai Sri Balaram Prabhu ki Jai. Jai Rohini Nandan Balaram Prabhu ki Jai. Jai Rohini Vasudev ki Jai. Jai Sri Krishna Chandra ki Jai. Jai Balaram Jayanti Balaram Purnim ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Rupa Nugul Guru Bhargya ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswata Acharya Brinda ki jai. Jai Sri Harinama Sankirtan ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol.